let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it, because arguably the biggest trade in NBA history, if not sports history in North America, happened this past weekend. As you see on the ticker below, the Mavericks traded Luka Dončić, a top 5 player in the league, to the Lakers. The Lakers, for a package including Anthony Davis, and Shams Charania of ESPN broke the news on Saturday night, and it was so ludicrous that celebrities, fellow NBA players, fellow NBA journalists, no one could believe it, and everyone thought that Shams got hacked. So then he followed up his original tweet by saying, yes, this is real. Sources tell ESPN the full trade is the Lakers get Luka Dončić, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris. The Mavericks get Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 Lakers first-round pick. And the Jazz, being the third team in the trade, and that's the funniest part about it, is that Celtics legend Danny Ainge, who runs the Utah Jazz now, didn't know that he was helping facilitate a Luka Dončić to the Lakers trade till 30 minutes prior when it was already too late. But the Jazz got Jalen Hood-Schifino, a 2025 Clippers second-round pick, and a 2025 Mavericks second-round pick. And so, Kevin, I'm going to toss it to you first. What are your thoughts on this blockbuster trade in the association?
Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. A lot of my non-basketball friends were asking me, Kevin, what's the football comparison to Luka or the Mavs trading Luka? I said, that's like we wake up tomorrow and the Baltimore Ravens trade Lamar Jackson to the Colts for Anthony Richardson. That's Patrick Mahomes was traded for Miles Sanders. Like, you don't trade your top guy. The Bills trading Josh Allen. You know, all the shit Zion has put the Pelicans through, and they are still saying, we're going to figure it out. You have that generational talent, you do whatever you can. Another example, trust the process, Joel Embiid. The Sixers are not trading Joel Embiid. You don't trade that guy. Luka Dončić is 25 years old, 5-time All-NBA, 5-time All-Star, scoring champ last season, single-handedly carried the Dallas Mavericks to the finals. He's considered, Shaun said he's a top 5 basketball player in the world. Some people can say he's top 3 when healthy. And it's crazy.
Or in shape.
Or in shape. You know, he's 25 years old and has 5 first-team All-NBAs. Can you guys name the active players with 5 All-NBA first teams?
Kevin Durant, LeBron James. Those are the easy ones. Giannis?
Nope, not Steph. Giannis.
Yep. Okay.
There's one more.
Oh, damn. Okay, I got 3 out of 4 right out of the gate. Who's the other one?
Nope.
It's not Kawhi. It's not Kawhi.
Nope.
Is it 5
Jokic.
Nope. Yes, 4.
Oh, fuck. God damn it. So close. Who are we just overlooking right now?
Who would you say already, Shaun?
I said LeBron, KD, Giannis, and
there's one more.
Is it Jason Tatum?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
All-star.
All right, Kevin. Who do we got?
You guys got to kick yourself for it. You want to take another guess?
All right. We're gonna kick ourselves for it. We already guessed Steph. We're gonna kick ourselves for it. Okay. It's like it is on the tip of my tongue, and I am just blanking out right now.
I'll give you guys a hint. He's an older guy.
Nope. He's an older guy. We already said LeBron, KD.
I'm beat, yeah.
James Harden.
Okay. That totally makes sense.
When you hear, you're like, oh, damn, I would have never even guessed James Harden.
Yeah, no, 100%.
CP3 has 4, Steph has 4, Joker has 4. So this list was almost next year they'll be added to this list, but yeah.
Ooh, I got one off the dome. Luka is one of 3 players to have 5 All-NBA selections in his first 7 seasons. Who's the other 2?
LeBron.
Yep. Actually,
first 5 and 7 seasons.
Actually, wait. Did LeBron do it though? I don't know if LeBron.
Yeah, because he didn't get it his first season, and I'm sure he got it his second season. His third season, he won MVP. So
Okay, I know Kevin Durant's one of them. I thought it, and this one's just straight off the dome, so I don't have the information in front of me. So forgive me if I'm wrong. But I just kept hearing this stat on SportsCenter. I thought it was KD and Michael Jordan, but
I could be wrong because it's 5 out of the first 7 years.
Yeah,
team
and yeah, exactly. That's a very important specification, Kevin. And so thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Kevin Durant and Michael Jordan who had 5 first-team All-NBA selections within the first 7 seasons. Regardless, Luka Dončić is an all-time great. And so, Kevin, I didn't mean to cut off your analysis there.
All good, no, but I thought it was a really interesting to hear all the 5 All NBA lists, to see Luka being 26 years old. Everybody else on that list besides Giannis is in their late 30s. So that's what the Lakers are getting. The Lakers did it again. I've been seeing a lot of the memes of from Breaking Bad saying they just can't keep getting away with this.
Seriously.
First it was Kareem, then it was Will, then it's Paul Gasol, then it's Shaq. How do you go from Kobe to LeBron to Luka? I said it when we introduced ourselves in the beginning of the show. We built the Spurs dynasty. The Mavericks just let the Lakers double up. Everyone's been asking, what's the plan post LeBron? Can AD do it? Can AD stay healthy? I guess we know the answer to that question. On the Mavericks side of this, I think the Mavericks are going to be a top 3 seed in the West. I think seeing Anthony Davis back at the power forward, since we haven't seen him do that since 2020. And when he did that, not only did the Lakers win a championship, he averaged 26 points, 9 boards, 3 assists. He was first team All NBA and first team All Defense. Having Anthony Davis as an off-ball defender is insane. All they were asking for in LA was get us another big man. Anthony Davis and Shams just did an interview last week. And Anthony Davis is preaching, go get us a big, go get us a big. The Mavericks were able to get Anthony Davis and keep guys like Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington. So they have this size. Anthony Davis has come out multiple times and said the reason they won that championship is because they had guys like JaVale and Dwight. I'm not saying Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively are JaVale and Dwight. I'm just saying to have that size, Anthony Davis now gets to go back to being an off-ball defender. Kyrie Irving, all that shit that was said about him the past couple of years, no one's saying it now because the Mavericks just gave him the keys. And I think this is going to be one of the top duels in the NBA, and it's going to be very interesting to kind of see how it plays out. But the Dallas Mavericks definitely walked away the winner of this trade because Luka's hurt, and there's still a lot of questions around LeBron and the rest of this Lakers team. So if they're able to put something together and kind of make a push, then we can talk about who won the trade at the end of the season. But as of right now, February 3rd, the Mavericks won this trade.
I don't even know if the Mavericks gave Kyrie Irving the keys. They might be just giving them right to Anthony Davis, because let's not forget, as you were alluding to, Kevin, you mentioned 2020 when he was playing alongside JaVale McGee. But when Anthony Davis was by himself in New Orleans, and then when he was playing with DeMarcus Cousins in New Orleans, Anthony Davis was that guy. The only reason why the Lakers weren't his team is because he went to go play with arguably the greatest player of all time, if not the greatest player of his generation. And so, Toddy, what are your thoughts on this? Because obviously you are a noted Kyrie Irving fan, Kyrie Irving expert on this podcast. And so just what are your thoughts on this absolutely crazy deal in the NBA?
Well, kind of going back to what you were saying, I didn't think it was real at first. Cordell posted in the group chat. Actually, I want to give a quick shout out to Cordell, new dad Cordell.
Hey, congratulations, Cordell! Shout out to cousin Cordell.
But it just didn't seem real. So I went on, X and just was looking and scrolling, and I was doing a little deep dive, and I was like, huh. And I called Kevin. I'm like, Kevin, what are you doing? Man, just some scrolling on TikTok, nothing major. I said, Luka just got traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. He said, get the fuck out of here. You're lying. I said, I swear to God. I was like, it doesn't sound real, but it's just Shams tweeted it. of all people. It's Sham Sharanya tweeted it. It's from his account. I was like, maybe it got hacked. I don't know what it is. Shams had to literally quote his own tweet and say, "This is real. This is not."
That's exactly what a hacker would say too. Oh yeah, this is real.
This is real, and I'm like, there's no way. Like, what? No, there's no way. Then you start seeing other reporters saying, "I can confirm this is true," and like you start seeing like credible, like real reporters. Chris Haynes, Mark Stein, Wendy. Like they went on Sports Center. They had to go on Sports Center and say, "Hey guys, this is not a hoax. This is real." So I'm just like, how is this even possible? And you're kind of just going through the nicks and crannies of it. And you're like, okay, was it just Anthony Davis, Luka straight up? And then you kind of look at the trade and just Danny Ainge just having no idea that he was handing off Luka to the Lakers has to be absolutely heartbreaking. He probably wouldn't have even sniffed. Hey, can you take on the salary? It's Jalen Hood-Schifino. Yeah, no problem. Give me a couple picks. Call it a day. And then all of a sudden he's going into it, and before the trade gets finalized, Luka Dončić to the Lakers. So Nico Harrison is either the smartest man alive or the dumbest person alive. There's no in between. It's black or white. You traded away the guy who literally he averaged 30, like 35 in the playoffs last year. Got to the finals. Took you to a conference finals before the age of, like at the age of 25. And you come out and say, we can't win with that style of play? Like they just went to the finals, literally. Not even a year ago. Like 6 months ago, 7 months ago, you were in the finals with Luka Dončić, knocking on the door.
And I think they won a game. They just lost to the better team too. They just lost to the better team. It's not even better. Yeah.
I feel like you're not even. And then I saw a press conference. Do you see a press conference with him and Jason Kidd? You can see it on J Kidd's. His body language he is distraught. Mm-hmm. Can't believe it. It's all on his face. Like, we traded who away? And then he comes out and says, the future is 3 to 4 years. We're not looking at about 7, 8 years from now. Me and J Kidd could be gone by now. What are you talking about? What do you mean? You don't say things like that. And Luka I know he's got a smirk on his face right now. He's got a smirk on his face like, oh, okay. You guys don't believe in me? Gave you guys my heart and soul. Took you guys to the finals. Oh, okay. I can't play anymore. Okay. All right. That game on February 25th is going to do massive numbers. I think Luka, when healthy, is a top 3 player in the NBA. All NBA. We already discussed all his accolades. All NBA every year except his rookie year. I mean, this is like you don't trade guys like Luka. You don't trade guys like Jokic, Shea Alexander. Like you don't Anthony Edwards. Like you don't trade these types of guys. Yeah, it really just doesn't make sense to me. I'm still trying to process how this is even real. Luka said, I saw a report saying, I think it was from Jake Fisher, saying that he could make his debut as early as Saturday. So I'm just, how many people are going to tune into that game? Just watch a regular season game, Luka Dončić's first game on the Lakers. Everyone's going to be watching. So it's crazy. And then you start to see all these domino effects of, I think a bunch of just around the sports, all of sports, like even in football, we saw Myles Garrett request trade today, Cooper Kupp. Right after the Luka trade, you saw De'Aaron Fox get traded, and we'll get into that later in the show. I think this was a huge, unexpected domino. Like, this was not even supposed to happen. And for this to happen, and then you're like, oh, Luka got traded? But Stephon Castle can't get traded? It's very interesting how the Lakers keep getting guys in trades. LeBron didn't get it in the trade. You get guys like Luau Sindor, aka Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You just Shaq, Kobe. Like you're just all these
On and on and on and on.
And you know what's crazy? Guys are gonna want to come to LA now and play with Luka. Oh, Luka's in LA? Well, hold on. Let me mosey on down to Los Angeles and figure out how we're gonna be able to get how we can team up together. Same thing happened with LeBron. LeBron was able to lure Anthony Davis over. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be able to find. I mean, just imagine the guys that are gonna want to play with Luka. Come to LA. Who doesn't want to go to LA and play basketball for the Lakers? So it comes down to it, like the Lakers pedigree kind of sells itself. Want to play in LA, you want to play with the best players in the world. The Lakers, the rich get richer. And it's, I know for the Kings fans and myself as well, we want to see the Lakers get better. Luka Dončić, like of all people. So we're all excited to see what the new NBA is going to look. I think now this is like a precedent at the trade deadline. I didn't expect really much to happen at the trade deadline. Maybe Jimmy Butler and De'Aaron Fox as of late, but I think there's a bunch of guys that kind of you wouldn't think get traded. Like maybe a Zion Williamson could get traded. That's something that you can definitely look into. Obviously Jimmy Butler. There's Brandon Ingram that's still out there. I think we're going to see a lot of GMs kind of get a little frisky now that we've seen Luka Dončić get traded out of nowhere. So, buckle, fasten your seatbelts. I think the deadline's on Thursday, so we got a couple of days. I mean, we might see some. Have them post notifications on. Another thing too, I was thinking about. What if Woj just had this just lying on his phone? Like just in his phone. He knew for like a week and a half and was just like, it's not me anymore, guys. It's like he probably had it however long and figured out like, hey, like, did you hear about this? Yeah, man, I knew about it about a week ago. It's been brewing. It came across my desk still. So yeah, this is one of those, where were you at when this trade happened? You kind of remember like there's like I think this is probably the craziest trade in sports history. But it's like little tidbits that you hear, like I remember where I was at when LeBron announced he was going to Miami, when KD said I'm going to the Warriors. Trying to think what other crazy trades. Oh, James Harden going to Brooklyn. Those are just little tidbits there. But I mean, yeah, this is probably the craziest trade I've ever seen ever in sports.
Yeah, it definitely is. And in my fantasy basketball group chat a couple weeks ago, someone asked, for all the Kings fans, who do you hate more, the Lakers or the Warriors? And I said, oh, it's always been the Lakers. It'll always be the Lakers. And obviously this was way before this even happened, but there was maybe like a 2 to 3 year window when Kevin Durant went to the Warriors where the Warriors were the team that I hated the most in basketball. And I was like, I consider myself a Kevin Durant fan before he went to the Warriors and after he went to the Warriors. While he was with the Warriors, it's just like, no. Like I wrote an opinion piece for my college newspaper at the time, basically saying like, Kevin Durant, you're a snake. Like, how could you do that? Like, of all teams, you went there. And so for maybe 2 to 3 years, the Warriors were the team that I hated the most, but it's always been the Lakers. It's always going to be the Lakers. And this is just another prime example of it. You guys have both already said it, that like, how do they keep getting away with this? And for Luka Dončić to be a Los Angeles Laker, like when I remove myself as a Kings fan, I take off this hat, I take off this jersey, and I just look at it as someone who is an aspiring sports journalist and who wants to do this for a career. And maybe I'll be on ESPN one day giving my takes or at least reporting about it. And when I put my unbiased journalist hat on, I think this is pretty damn cool, because we know about the relationship that Kobe Bryant had with Luka Dončić, how fondly Kobe Bryant and his entire family thought of Luka Dončić. And even you think back to Kobe's last Laker game that he was ever at. He's talking to Luka in Slovenian courtside. And to have 1 week after the 5-year anniversary of Kobe, Gianna, and the 7 others passing, and to have Luka become a Laker, like, I don't know what your guys' religious beliefs are, but it's like there's a higher purpose that's kind of making these moves. For Nico Harrison to only talk to the Lakers, to only talk to Rob Pelinka, and I saw a report today that said that Rob Pelinka was originally gonna trade Dalton Connect and like 2 more first-round picks for Luka with Anthony Davis and the first that they ended up getting. And Rob Pelinka said to him, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that because Luka's conditioning, it's just not there. I mean, why do you guys want to trade him? Because he's overweight and his conditioning just isn't there. And for Rob Pelinka to finesse his way into like there's a couple things that I wanted to read before we move on to De'Aaron Fox, and this really just kind of puts it all into context. So first and foremost, the Mavs turned Luka Dončić, Jalen Brunson, and Kristaps Porzingis into Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and Spencer Dinwiddie. Straight up 3-for-3 swap. Luka, Jalen Brunson, and Kristaps Porzingis for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and Spencer Dinwiddie. Like, that is insane. And then you look at what the Nets turned a 34-year-old Kevin Durant into. Brace yourself because it's long. Cam Johnson, Zaire Williams, 2023 Phoenix first-round pick, 2025 Phoenix first-round pick, 2025 New York Knicks first-round pick. You know what? Let's just spare all the listeners from me naming off all these picks. Let's see. So Cam Johnson, Zaire Williams, and 9 first-round picks, 2 first-round pick swaps, and 4 second-round picks.
Don't forget about a championship.
And a championship. Yeah, that's what the Nets turned 34-year-old Kevin Durant into, was 9 first-round picks.
I thought
2 pick swaps. Sorry. 9 first-round picks, 2 pick swaps, 4 second-round picks, Cam Johnson and Zaire Williams. That's what the Nets got for a 34-year-old Kevin Durant. But for a 25-year-old Luka Dončić, we already know, and we've already noted what they got.
Can you imagine the amount of picks GMs would have offered? Knowing if Luka Dončić was on the market, I told Kevin, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody would offer them 10 first-round picks.
Should have, could have.
I mean,
and they didn't because Nico didn't give them the chance.
That's one of the things, though. You don't want. I see both sides of it because you don't want the message out there that Luka's on the market, because it gives off a vibe in the locker room and all that stuff, versus you do it behind closed doors. But at the same time, if you put them on the market, you're going to get way better offers than what you got. I guarantee.
Yeah, and I completely understand your point of not wanting to hurt the locker room chemistry and everything, but like, you're removing the biggest piece. So the locker room is going to shift regardless. And like the Lakers and the Mavericks, Nico Harrison, Rob Pelinka, they were negotiating this deal for about a month.
Yeah.
And so like, okay, you're going to make Luka upset, blah, 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 blah. At that point, you've already decided you're going to trade him. So who cares about making him upset? Get the best value you possibly can. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, Nico Harrison is just in love with Anthony Davis, I guess, that he was just like 31-year-old going on 32, Anthony Davis. That's who I want. That's the centerpiece. Take it or leave it. Here's Luka Dončić. It just doesn't make sense to me. And the last thing that I'll say about this, it comes from Luka Dončić's dad. So Mr. Dončić said, with this trade, hypocrisy hurts me personally. I think Luka absolutely did not deserve this. I know he sacrificed a lot. I know Luka really respected Dallas. He respected the whole city. He helped children, and it was not a problem for him to go to hospitals and charity events. He played 100 games last season for like 40 minutes per game, constantly being doubled. I feel it's really unfair from certain people from Dallas. That's from Luka's dad right there. And I think it really nailed it. It does not make sense to me. It still does not make sense to me. Yet here we are, and Luka Dončić is a Laker. As a Kings fan, it just makes me absolutely sick. It makes me sick not only the fact that Luka is a Laker, but for what they gave up to get him. It would be one thing if the Lakers just totally traded away half their team. They traded away Austin Reeves, Dalton Connect, 5 first-round picks. But for them to give up what they did and get Luka Dončić, now you're going from having the greatest player of all time to arguably the greatest European player of all time. I mean, Wemby's going to have something to say about that. And who knows, if Luka gets his conditioning right and he gets on that LeBron James diet, he could potentially get to another level as well, which is just scary to think. And some Kings fans were celebrating this because they're like, hey, now we're not the ones who have made the dumbest move when it comes to Luka Dončić, a.k.a. passing him up in the 2018 draft. Now the Mavericks have made that move, but it's like, at what cost? Now he's on your biggest rival, and you're happy about that?
You get to see him 4 more times. You get to see him 4 times.
It's a good thing that the Kings, unless they see him in the playoffs, which, I mean, the Kings beat the Timberwolves tonight on the road, so that's cool. But unless the Kings play the Lakers in the playoffs, they don't have to see Luka wearing yellow until next season, because we already lost 4 times to the Anthony Davis-led Lakers this year. But, you know, it was a rough weekend if you were a Sacramento Kings fan, and that leads us into our next topic as the Sacramento Kings. Oh, sorry, Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, before we move on, the only way to look at it, Shaun, is they didn't want to pay him $350. This new management said, we're not giving you $350 million. Like, we just don't believe it. I mean, and that's the only way to look at it. They just didn't want to pay him that money.
Kev, I saw that Chandler Parsons texted Mark Cuban. He was like, I'm very confused. And then Mark Cuban texted him back and said, that makes 2 of us.
Me too.
If Mark Cuban was still majority owner, this doesn't happen.
There's no way in hell.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, yeah. This doesn't happen. He said, if I had to. Go ahead, Kev. No, Kev, go ahead.
In 2020, they asked if he could keep his wife for Luka Dončić, what would he do? And he said, the next day we'd be filing our divorce. We'd be having a divorce out water. He's like, there's no way. How do you do this? And you know what? New management, they said, I mean, in his 6 years, he's had 4 calf strains, same calf. So a lot of that could go to, you know, not being in condition, overweight, A, B, C, and D. But he's still too early to give up on him. But that's the only way to look at it. They didn't want to pay him that money. They said, fuck you, Luka. We're going to cost you $160 million that you would have gotten a Supermax. Don't go to LA.
Yeah, and also we know how dangerous calf strains can turn into. Calf strains could turn into a ruptured Achilles, and then you're out for at least a year. And so I guess we'll have to wait and see. The last thing I'll say about this, actually, you know what? Before I get there, obviously, number one, the Mavericks are in a win-down situation. As Kevin was saying earlier,